Hi. Well, I made it through, and I thought I would report in, and this video will be the other shoe dropping. I love that. What is that? An analogy? Is that it's not a metaphor. What is it? You know, it's a person who lives in the downstairs apartment, and every night they hear one shoe drop and hit the wood floor, and then it's like they never hear the other shoe drop. I think there's a story behind it, such that one day the downstairs person says, you know, I don't want to sound creepy, but, you know, we have adjoining ceiling floors. And every night I hear what I am sure is the sound of your shoe dropping. But I don't ever hear the second shoe. What is that? And they go, I don't know, just a habit that I kick the first one off and remove the second one with my hand and place it softly on the floor. Anyway, I'm going to place something softly on the floor today. I want to tell you some things I've learned. But number one, don't let your guard down. Do not have a false sense of security around interacting with someone you know them so well, or in my case, you're related to them, and you don't know. You just don't know. You know, my relative, she said, I'm not feeling well. Keep your distance. And I really appreciate that from her. Yet I still didn't get it, because I went over to her house and was indoors for longer than 15 minutes, less than 6 feet apart. And that was a big exposure. Was that the one that had the little aerosolized virus, going, and then she said something funny, and I went, I don't know. I don't know if that was it. Or if when she came over the next night and handed me the lasagna, and I said, stay for dinner. I'm this close to her. Stay for dinner. She goes, no, I don't feel well. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. She left. I don't know. Was that it? Was that when the aerosolized little virus decided to go into my nose or mouth? Or no, I don't think it came off the pan. I don't think it was this and then, that. I think it's talking. It's in the air. You're talking. Now, in the first video, I didn't say, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. So I'm saying it now. I do touch my face a lot. Somebody pointed out in my first video, they go, man, you sure touch your face a lot. And I do. We all do. Maybe not as much as I do, but we all do. So it's being conscious of that. So that's all, in the past. I got the virus. So what happened next? I told you I came down, I was exposed on August 1st or 2nd. And then I got symptoms on Saturday morning, August 8th, 7 days later. So in the meantime, though, this is what I want to talk about. I had contact with people. I had contact. So I drove down there on Saturday, picked fruit on Sunday, drove home on Monday. Didn't see anybody on Tuesday, but on Wednesday, I had contact with people. My water heater decided to explode. So I went to the plumber shop. They were taking precautions. We wore masks, and we weren't in contact all that long. I went out to the loading dock, loaded up my brand new water heater, came home and put it in. But later on Wednesday, so Wednesday is 72 hours prior to me coming down with symptoms. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Actually, I came down with symptoms on Saturday morning. So when I did the contact tracing with the health professional, she said, we're going to go back to Wednesday. Who'd you see? Who'd you have contact with? I said, I saw these people. I've already notified them. And then on Thursday, I had contact with a friend outdoors and inside her house briefly. And then I visited my neighbors across the street, where I did go inside their house, didn't wear a mask. So that's all like Wednesday, Thursday, right? I've got virus in me. It's all incubating. It's all cooking up, right? Then on Friday, I I had brunch with friends in their home. We were not wearing masks. They live in a large open room, but I spent a lot of time, over an hour anyway, hanging out with them on Friday morning. And then Friday evening, I was enticed to drive back into town and have dinner at a restaurant. And this is what I want to tell you. So I'm going to get sick. I'm going to feel symptoms Saturday morning. Friday evening, I'm sitting at the dinner table with three friends. And, masks are off. The server's wearing his mask. Everybody else walking around in the establishment wearing their masks. The sunlight was coming through the window. And I could see this person across the table from me, as he spoke, he was spraying it, not saying it. Well, actually both. And I remember noticing, being able to see, the little spit drops coming out across the table to the person seated to my right. And, and diagonally, we're talking like this. And then I have someone across from me and then the person next to me. Friday. This is less than 12 hours between the time I'm going to feel symptoms and the time I'm having dinner, right? So all these people tested, all these people quarantined for 14 days. Not one of them got a positive test, and I'm so happy that was the case. But it just tells you how capricious this virus is. I mean, if it decides that it's in you and can replicate, it will do it. If by luck of the draw it doesn't get inside you, that's awesome. That's great. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Remember, I got exposed on the 1st and 2nd, and then on Saturday when I came down with symptoms, I stayed home, didn't have any contact with anybody from then on. I drove into town to get tested on Monday, the 10th, and then 3 days later, got my positive test back. And by that time, my sister was fine. She had minimal symptoms. No one in her household got it. But I was sick on Saturday, Sunday, Monday the 10th when I got tested. 11, 12, 13. Fever every day. Chills, body aches, muscle aches, mild headache, no sore throat, no abdominal discomfort, no diarrhea. Didn't go into my lungs. And remember, that was my main concern. Please don't. I mean, this virus is kind of like, it gets in people's bodies and it's like, it ricochets around. It's like, or it's, considering the menu, maybe it's like, I did kidneys in the last one. I'm going to do lungs in this one. I don't know. But some people get it in some certain places and others get it in other places. Some people are infected and infectious and don't know it. Those are the asymptomatic people. And they are the ones who are the most scary because they don't know. So here's the bottom line. If you are around somebody who has the virus, has symptoms, you've been exposed. So once you've been exposed, that starts the time clock for two things. One, starts the time clock chronologically for 14 days, a 14-day quarantine. And the second thing time clock it starts is you're marking the time you had interaction with anybody from the time you were exposed. Now, there's, according to the science, there's very little chance that the minute I got exposed that I could have passed on the virus. Apparently, the best data suggest that 2 days prior, that's the hot spot. That's the window where you're most likely to be infectious and get somebody else infected, okay? So they go back 3 days. In my case, the health worker and I did contact tracing back to Wednesday. We went Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the dinner on Friday night. And then I got sick on Saturday, didn't have any more contact, right? So, but as soon as you're exposed, you should quarantine. And that means hard and fast, line in the sand, don't put a mask on and go out into public for 14 days, if you can do it. Should you get tested? Here's my thought about that. If you get tested right away, like, oh my God, I was exposed to somebody who had COVID, and you get tested right away, it might not show. You're going to get a negative result. It's better to wait until toward the end of the 14-day quarantine, because it's had time to incubate. Just saying. And then if you test negative, you're negative toward the end of the 14 days. But you should get tested. All of my people got tested. I'm looking over here because I have a list of all the people. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they got tested. And I was just so happy every time each one of them said, negative, Yeah, it was great. So here's the science as we know it. They used to say that you're gonna quarantine for 14 days no matter. But there's another time clock, which is on the day you wake up, which I did, and had no symptoms and no fever, without the use of fever-reducing medication, by the way. It's like they got to say that. Duh. If you can go 24 hours without any symptoms and no fever, you are no longer infectious. And you can go out. So let me back up. I'm just going to tell you this. So in the lab, they aren't able to replicate the virus. So they take a live virus that's infecting people, and the way they know it's infecting people is they can go to another petri dish and they can grow a culture, and then they take that same virus from the first day and out to 10 days. They can't replicate an infectious, viable virus out past 240 hours, call it 10 days, right? But you should quarantine for 14, just to be sure. So I got infected on the 1st or 2nd. I had symptoms on Saturday. So let's go out 10 days. Saturday the 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. On the 18th of August, scientifically anyway, ostensibly, I was no longer infectious. And here's the difference. I still have virus in my body today. And you're going to have virus in your body for weeks. It's detected in your feces. It's in you. So just because you're infected does not mean you are infectious. Keep that in mind. But, you can tell people that till the cows come home. But my experience has been, hey, so-and-so, this is me. Hey, I'm out past my quarantine, no fever symptoms for 5 days now. Hey, I'm in town. I was thinking of stopping by, and they're like, if you drive by, we'll wave at you. And I don't blame them. You're going to be like, no, not taking a chance. Not going to, we trust the science, we really do, but we don't trust you. Anyway, I don't blame my friends or other people. I had a conversation last night. I go, I'm coming home from a trip. I can stop by, although it didn't go so well the last time because we shared dinner. I had a little hip flask with some special hooch in it. We're hitting off the hooch. Those were friends on Friday night, and then I got sick Saturday, so I was really worried about them. Negative, negative, negative. All 3 people in the house. Okay. So watch. Here's the video you should watch. Matthew McConaughey interviews the Fauci, and Matthew just goes, okay, first question, and Fauci just he answers each one. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's very informative. I wanted to say that for me, when I got symptoms, it was like the switch got turned on, right? I was infected on the 1st or 2nd. Didn't feel a thing on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Friday, dinner with friends. Didn't feel a thing. Woke up Saturday, switch is on. I knew it. I just went, I feel like I'm getting sick. Checked my temperature, and sure enough, it was elevated by a degree, not much. And then it continued to go up, and it never got past 99.9. Lost my sense of smell and taste on Monday. Remember, I was making pudding, licked the spoon, nothing. Ate a big heaping teaspoon of chopped garlic. I could do that today. No problem. And it would be like chewing chopped carrots. Right now I'm enjoying a nice hot, I made this cup, by the way, back in the 80s. A nice hot cup of brown liquid cardboard. And it's Modelo d'Oro. Modelo d'Oro? I don't know. Medal of gold. Gold medal. It's gold medal coffee, like espresso, right? Really good coffee, as I recall. Nothing. So I lost my taste and smell on the 10th, and today's the 22nd. I was in the greenhouse the other day, and I was picking the tips, that were trying to go to flower. And I smelled it, and I know I smelled basil. But it was like, you get one molecule of smell, and that's it. You're cut off until we say. So that gave me hope. I was like, that's basil. I know it is. And it was great. But that was 3 days ago. And I still got nothing here. I smoked a whole chicken in my Traeger for an hour, right? Smoked chicken. And I took that bird out, cut it up, and it was like some of the best salt and pepper I've ever tasted. Because I can taste salt. I can taste sweet vinegar in the pickled herring, which I still can't taste, but I get sweet and sour and salt. I don't get the pepper, actually. I can't taste pepper. All right, that's it. It's a little long, but thanks for watching. I'm good. I was talking about the switch. The switch came on the 8th, and then on the 17th, I woke up, and the switch was off. No fever. I had no fever the day before, I think on the 16th. No fever, but I still felt sick. And that was my whole experience throughout this thing, was just feeling like I have the flu, this sick, awful body aches, chills, horrible dreams, horrible. Anyway, I slept a lot, 10 hours, 10 and a half hours, took 2-hour naps, 2.5-hour naps during the day, and still went to bed at night at a reasonable hour and slept 10 hours. But on Monday, I not only didn't have a fever, I didn't feel symptoms. I was like, I'm better. It was just like that. The switch went off for me. Other people, so I joined this closed Facebook group called Coronavirus Survivors Corps, CORPS. And oh my gosh, the stories in there are just eye-wideningly horrific. Some people are going on months of just still feeling sick. There's lots of back and forth between how long do we have to quarantine, how long are we infectious, and there are some great articles out there in terms of how long you're infectious. Remember, you're going to be infected, but that doesn't mean you're going to remain infectious. So anyway, the switch went off on August 17th, Monday, and I've just felt great, like tippity-doo-dah, since then. So, and it didn't go in my lungs or my lugs or my lungs. One of the things about this virus is it makes it difficult to enunciate. You say the wrong words, I guess. I could live with that, just as long as it didn't go into my logs. There, I did it again. All right, cheers. Here's drinking cardboard to you. I don't know. Is the milk sour in that carton? I don't know. Okay, Loves and hugs. Be safe. Don't let your guard down. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth. You know, when you cover your mouth, I don't know if you are aware of this, but it prevents a lot of the virus load that's in your saliva from going out. It kind of holds it right here and keeps it closer to your body. I don't know if you have heard that. It's like physics and kind of the law of gravity and stuff like that. It's real. Yeah. So, okay. Tutti a tavola mangiare. That means everybody to the table to eat. But don't invite me till I can taste something. And I really, really heartfelt thanks to all the people. I mean, so many people checking in on me, asking how I'm doing. I'm getting goosebumps now, and it's not from COVID chills. Okay. Thank you to everybody for all the love. Bye for now.